Hey friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. If you're new here, hello and welcome. I am Taylor. I'm a stay-at-home wife and mom, and I share these What's for Dinner videos every Sunday to hopefully give you some new meal ideas and to motivate you to cook more for your family. This week's What's for Dinner video is a little bit different though. I do have 3 meals that I cooked at home at the beginning, and then the rest of the video, the other 4 meals from the week, are leftovers and then us eating out, because as I'm filming this video, we are actually in Albany, Georgia, and so our meals are going to be like from restaurants because we're staying in a hotel. My husband Andy had to work out of town, so while he's doing that, we are eating out because we went with him. That's the perks of being a homeschool family, is we get to just go with him. But if you do like these videos, I hope that you will subscribe so you can come back and see my future ones. I've also been doing this for like 4 years now, so I do have a playlist down below with all of my old videos as well. But let's go ahead and get into this week's What's for Dinner. So for Friday night, we had calzones. So I started off by making my favorite pizza dough recipe, and I actually doubled it so that I could make 8 calzones. That way we would have enough for lunch the next day. But you could totally just do the original recipe and make 4 calzones. So I take my dough and I divide it in half, and then I divide it in half again, and I just keep dividing it until I have 8 small balls, and then I roll them out into circles, and then I put some pizza sauce on there, and then our choice of toppings, we did pepperoni and some salami and then some mozzarella cheese, and then I just fold it over and seal it. I like to pinch it together and then just kind of like roll it together as well. Then I transferred all of my calzones to a parchment paper lined baking sheet, and then I brushed them each with some olive oil, sprinkled on some Parmesan cheese, and then cut a slit in the top of each one. And then these went in the oven for about 15 minutes on 475. And here is what they looked like when they were done. As I said, this made 8 calzones. It was plenty for me, Andy, the kids, and my sister, and with enough left for lunch the next day as well. Saturday night, we made steak burrito bowls, and if you've been here a while, you know we love these. It's basically like Chipotle at home. So I took some steak that I got from a good shop. I think it was top sirloin steak, and I just sliced it thinly, and then I got it in this marinade early in the day so that I could sit in the fridge and really get some good flavor. So for this marinade, I never measure anything, but I always do it the same way. I do some salt and pepper, some lime juice or lemon juice, minced garlic, cumin, soy sauce, olive oil, cilantro, and paprika. And you don't even have to worry about cutting up the cilantro because you're just going to pick it out when you cook it, but it does like give the steak some flavor while it marinates. When it's time to cook my steak, I actually pull it out like 30 minutes before I'm ready to cook it, and I let my cast iron heat up as well over like a medium high heat. I like to do a medium high heat for this. On other things, I usually stick to medium, but whenever I'm doing the steak, I do a medium high because it gets a really good sear on it. So I just add all of the meat to the pan. I left the cilantro behind, toss that out, throw it away, or you'll like burn the cilantro. Believe me, I've done it before. It's not needed. So we just put it in the pan and cook it until it's done. steak was done, I just like to chop it up into like bite-sized pieces so it's easy for everyone to assemble their steak burrito bowls. I made some black beans and I seasoned these with some Goya like all-purpose seasoning. And then I've got my cilantro lime rice. I will have the recipe for that listed below. You basically just add cilantro and lime juice and salt and pepper to some plain white rice. We had lettuce and salsa and avocado cups. This is Lily's plate. She asked for some extra cilantro, some avocado, and some salsa. And then this is Elijah's. He's got lettuce on there. And then here is mine with a little bit of everything. Sunday night was a night where I had no recipe, just ingredients from the fridge that I wanted to use up, so I was just winging it. And I started off by bringing some salted water to a boil to cook 2 cups of penne pasta, and then I heated my cast iron pan with some olive oil over medium heat. Once my oil was hot, I added in some chicken breasts that I cut into like 1-inch pieces, like bite-sized pieces, and I had seasoned it on one side with garlic powder and the Cavender seasoning, and then once I got it in the pan, I seasoned the other side as well, and I just cooked that up until it was done. When my chicken was done, I removed it from the pan and then I added in a little bit more olive oil along with a bunch of minced garlic and some diced up sun-dried tomatoes. I would say it was probably about half a cup of sun-dried tomatoes. And then I just let that cook for about a minute. Then I added in about 1/4 a cup of chicken broth just to kind of deglaze the pan and scrape up any bits from the bottom. And then once I had all the bits scraped up from the bottom, I added in 1 cup of heavy cream. And then I brought that heavy cream to a simmer over a medium-low heat and just let it simmer for like 3 to 5 minutes until it started to thicken up. Once that heavy cream started to thicken up, I added in 2 big spoonfuls of pesto. I added back in my chicken and my cooked penne pasta, as well as some Parmesan cheese. Once the Parmesan cheese had melted, it was ready to eat. I forgot to get a picture of like the finished product of like our plates and stuff, but we just had this, nothing with it. It was super good and filling, and I don't really know what to call it. It's like a creamy pesto chicken pasta, I guess, and it's got sun-dried tomatoes in there. But if you add sun-dried tomatoes to the name, it's like a super long name. I don't know. It was good, and I will definitely make it again. It is Monday night, and tonight for dinner we are just having leftovers. Tomorrow we will be out of town for the next couple of days, so the rest of this video will be like whatever we eat out of town, because Andy has been out of town. Like this is week number 2. He was out of town last week. And we're going to join him for the next couple of days while he finishes up his work out of town. So yeah, wanted to clean out the fridge before we leave tomorrow. So the kids are having leftovers from last night. This is that chicken creamy pesto sun-dried tomato thing that I made, and it's really good, and there's no more of it left. So I'm not sure what I'm going to eat. I'm not hungry right now, but I will show you what I eat whenever I fix something later. It might just be cereal later after the kids go to bed. I'm not sure right now. I've just been cleaning all day and trying to get the house ready before we go, because then we can come home to a clean house. So this is the kids' dinner. Okay, it's like 9:45 and I almost forgot to eat dinner. I was editing a video and the kids have been in bed for like an hour, and then I was sitting there editing and I was like, I'm hungry. And then I realized, oh yeah, I haven't eaten dinner. Does anybody else do that? Like, usually it's at like lunchtime that I forget to eat because like I'll feed the kids and then like while they're eating lunch I'll be editing and then it'll be like 2 o'clock and I'll be like, oh crap, I haven't eaten lunch yet. And not usually a dinner happening, but since I wasn't hungry earlier, they ate those leftovers that I showed you. And I am eating a leftover steak from when we did those steak burrito bowls. I just turned it into a quesadilla. So I've got that with some salsa and sour cream to dip it in. I'm going to go sit down, probably watch some Grey's Anatomy, and eat this. Tuesday, Andy came and picked us up, and we headed to Albany, Georgia, which is 3.5 hours away from home for us. So we got there past our dinner time. So we picked up some KFC, a bucket of chicken, extra crispy, with some mac and cheese, mashed potatoes and gravy, and biscuits. And then we took it back to our hotel. We were staying in a Marriott town place, and it had like a full kitchen with plates and everything. So that made it really easy to eat our dinner. It is Wednesday night, and tonight for dinner we got Mellow mushroom pizza. So we got I think it was called the Mighty Meaty pizza. It has all the meats on it. I can't even remember. Bacon, pepperoni, ham, sausage. I don't remember, but it looks like they gave us like garlic stuff and Parmesan cheese and marinara sauce.
They asked me if I want any of those things, and I was like, can I just have all of the things?
And look, you get another marinara sauce in here, so you have plenty. We have some cheese bread too. But yeah, that is going to be our dinner for Wednesday. Thursday night, we made it to Dothan, Alabama, and we actually got here a little bit earlier in the day, so we were able to actually go out and eat lunch. And Andy had worked in Albany before we left and got off at like 1-ish, so then we drove to Dothan, which I think was like an hour and a half drive. So then he was off for the rest of the day with us. And then, as I said, we went to Mexican. I think this place was called like Rodeo Mexican. We had chips, cheese dip. I had the super chimichangas. Andy had like a steak and shrimp thing. Elijah had the kids' enchilada plate, and Lily had the kids' taco plate. But that is going to be it for this week's What's for Dinner. As I mentioned at the beginning, it was a little different than normal, and next week's is going to start off with 2 more meals out, because as I'm recording this, we're still out of town, and then the rest of the week will be back to normal. We will be home, and I will be cooking again. So I'm ready to be back to normal. This eating out all the time. I love the not cooking, but I don't love the options of food that you get to eat. So I'm ready to be home and cooking again. And if you were wondering why we were out of town, it wasn't really vacation. Andy did have to work the days that we were gone. He was training people to use the new register systems at some shoe stores that his company bought. So he was training people, and he was doing stores in Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia. So we went to like be with him so he wasn't alone for those 2 weeks that he was working out of town. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!